What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Spoiling Movies. My name is Chris, and I'm going to tell you all about a movie I just watched again and tell you all about it. This week's movie is The Incredible Hulk, the second movie in the MCU. There's some clunky exposition about Bruce Banner's past given while the credits are going. There's like pictures and video clips of him going through the gamma radiation, but the thing goes wrong, and that's how he becomes the Hulk. If you don't know the Hulk story, that's sort of it. He does gamma radiation tests on himself, Bruce Banner, and he's a scientist. It turns him into a big green monster, and he breaks out and hurts people and runs away. Bruce Banner is hiding away from everybody in the world, hiding away from the government and everybody. He's in Brazil and he's trying to learn breathing techniques to help him like manage his anger or aggression levels, his heartbeat, basically trying to manage like how much his heart beats in a certain way. He works at this like soda bottling plant, and the people there's like a group of bullies, and they keep picking on him and bullying him and whatever. While he's talking to like the manager guy that runs the bottling factory, he's helping him with some tech shit. He cuts himself, and there's a drop of blood that like drips out of his finger like down into some like soda bottles, and he's like, stop, stop, stop. He runs down there, he finds the one, he sees there's the blood, he wipes it up. He's in contact with some other person on the internet called Mr. Blue, like talking about his situation and like trying to figure out the science shit behind it, and he wants to get rid of his powers, so he's like doing blood tests on himself and talking online, so you see a lot of that. Wee! Incredible Hulk, blood tests and computer guy talk. The tech guy that he's talking to on the internet tells him he needs a blood sample, otherwise there's not much more that he can learn or help with. So he decides to send a blood sample to the dude. Ultra super genius Bruce Banner's gonna mail his mutant blood to some dude through the goddamn mail. Some of his blood did get in one of those bottles of soda. Stan Lee ended up drinking it. The Stan Lee cameo happens very early in this movie. He drinks a bottle of the weird soda, and it just shows him like drop the bottle in like slow motion, and that's it. We don't get to see what happens next. Does Stan Lee turn into a monster? Did he die? Did he get sick? We don't fucking know. General Ross brings in some new Russian guy to help him track down the Hulk guy. This guy's supposed to be the best. So the military dudes have tracked him down in Brazil. There's a long, boring foot chase through some admittedly cool scenery. I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but like the way that they show the Brazil and like the houses all around and whatever, it looks pretty cool during certain shots, but it's just a long drawn out boring scene. They're trying to shoot him with tranquilizers, and they keep missing, and it's just kind of boring. While he's running from the military dudes, he runs into the little bully group again, and then they start chasing. So there's two groups of people chasing him. They end up back in the soda bottling plant. Bullies talk shit, they start beating him up, and he gets really pissed off. You won't like me when I'm fucking angry. So of course he turns Hulk mode and starts knocking people around. They do a brief few scenes where like the Hulk is like in shadowiness, and he's just like snatching people. They almost make him like Batman for a minute. Like what a non-Batman type character, a giant green man. He's being sneaky in the shadows, and he's just like snatching people into the darkness. Ah! So they shoot a bunch of bullets at this obvious monster that is not able to be taken down by bullets. They waste so many bullets. I hate in movies like this where they just keep shooting even though it's obvious that none of that is working. He definitely kills a lot of like military people and civilians. He tosses giant like hunks of machinery at people, and then it just like cuts away right before it hits them. They're dead. You're a goddamn murderer, Bruce. The new Russian guy that General Ross had brought in to help with the military shit trying to bring him down, he goes back and talks to him. You didn't tell us what this thing was, and it was a monster. He was working with somebody else or whatever. General Ross was like, no, that was Bruce. That was him. It's like, you didn't tell your men like how to like what they were getting in for before sending him in against a fucking monster. Then they might have been prepared. Maybe give him some special weaponry or something. No, okay. You just send him in there, see what happens. Okay. The Russian dude and General Ross and Russian dude's like, I want to be enhanced. I want what he's got. He loves to fight, Russian dude. Loves a good fight. And he's like, okay, we can enhance you, but it's going to be fucking weird. Bruce creeps on his ex-girlfriend, Liv Tyler, for a while from a distance. Finds out that she's dating Ty Burrell, the dude from fucking Family Matters, fucking Modern Family. He goes to this pizza place where he talks to a dude that was like her uncle or friend or something. Ends up working for Pizza Dude doing deliveries. Goes to the college laboratory thing where she is working on stuff. Delivers a pizza. But Lou Ferrigno, the security guard, he doesn't want to let him in. Lou Ferrigno, fucking old Hulk reference. I love it. And he's like, how about this? I'll give you this pizza for free. You let me in. He's like, okay. Well, all right. You're cool with me. So he gets in with some free pizza. It's that easy to get into super secret laboratory where I guess that's where the original experiments were that like turned him into the Hulk. Because he starts getting like these weird flashbacks and shit when he gets in there. So then he's like in the laboratory, back on one of the computers doing the internet thing with Mr. Blue. Liv Tyler sees him in the back of the pizza place, just barely, and she like runs after him, but he's hiding behind a dumpster in the alley, and you hear like thunder and lightning and shit. And I was like, there's about to be an emotional rainy scene, isn't there? So she goes back and talks to the old pizza guy that's running the place, and I guess he tells her what's really going on. She catches up with him while he's like walking on the sidewalk in the rain. Like, why would he be walking out in public if he was trying to keep a secret? Whatever. She finds him in the fucking rain, gets out of her car. They go and have a big hug and just hang out in the rain for a moment. She says, get in the car, let's go talk or whatever. The next scene is General Ross handling, like, sensitive, like, gamma radiation blood or chemical or something. Like, why is the general of the fucking thing allowed, like, qualified to handle sensitive fucking hazardous materials? They get the shit, they give it to the new Russian dude, whatever, but they only give Russian dude like a small amount, so he doesn't turn like into full anything. He just gives him certain abilities, trying to make him like superhuman or whatever. And then they're back on like the college campus. Military finds him and they come and there's this big attack thing. He's up in this like walkway, suspended walkway between buildings. They shoot canisters of gas into it. He starts transforming because he's got no way out. Jumps out, does a big old meh. And again, just more bullets. Just a lot more bullets and shit. There is some actual good, like, choreography with the fight and the effects and stuff. There's a bunch of CG stuff, but there's a pretty cool scene where, like, Hulk grabs some, like, pieces of metal that are sharp, and he's, like, using them as shields, and he's, like, kicking people's asses. He's, like, picking up, like, big mechanical shit and, like, throwing them at people. The Russian dude is there, and he's actually doing pretty good fighting the Hulk, or at least, like, dodging some of his attacks. He's still using bullets, he's still trying to shoot him and shit, but he's doing, like, backflips, and he's dodging all his shit. They have some, like, tanks or vehicles with, like, big sonic cannons. They fire sonic cannons at him from two directions. It's going... And he's, like, trying to use the thing to, like, block him and shit. And he fucking throws one of those things, slices the thing in half. And, like, that's probably the best part of the movie is, like, them doing this scene, basically. Russian dude is, like, talking shit on Hulk, like, right up to his face. And Hulk just, like, kicks him. And he goes, do smashes his face into a tree. The helicopter shows up, starts nailing him, and big old explosion. He grabs Elizabeth because she was trying to, like, talk to him and shit, like, get close to him. Grabs her, tries to shield her from the fire. You don't see him for a second, and then he shows up, like, in the fire with her body, and she's just laying there in his arms. And he's just kind of standing there in the fire for way too long. Like, she's gonna burn up. You might be a Hulk, but she is not. But apparently he was able to take her away to a cliffside cave thing. She wakes up and it's raining again. It's lightning and thunder, and Hulk is still trying to figure things out. Like, all the lightning just scares him, and he's, like, yelling at the lightning, yelling at the sky. Rah! Rah! But he's also, like, trying to protect her. He's like, get back! Rah! He's still in there. And he's basically a big dumb animal at that point. She's like, come on, look at me, listen to me, come back into the cave, sit down, relax, it's okay, boy. The Russian dude is back. No harm to his body. He's healed up like perfectly apparently. Shield, they actually show a Shield thing. Shield does a search and is able to find where they are located and shit. I actually kind of like the way Bruce Banner explains how it feels to be the Hulk in this. It's like somebody dumped a liter of acid in my brain, and I'm still like able to like see what's going on, but it's all fucking. It's like intensified by like 8,000. She's talking about them using the subway to get to where they need to go next, and he's like, "Oh yeah, me in an underground metal tube. Like that's a great idea." And I didn't even realize that's the reference that Bruce Banner makes in the Avengers movie when they're going up in the helicarrier thing. They're able to find Mr. Blue, the fucking tech guy he's been talking to on the internet. They talk to the Russian guy and they say like, "How you feeling, man?" And he's like a monster. They're in the laboratory with Mr. Blue, and he's like, I need to get samples from you when you are the Hulk, so we have to induce that. So they induce it by, like, shocking his brain, and so he starts to transform, and it's like a gross transformation. You hear his bones, like, snapping and cracking, and it's gross, and there's, like, weird off-screen sound effects that are like... Like, that's not what it should sound like, right? Liv Tyler, like, jumps on top, straddles him, and was like, "No, just remember who you are. Listen to my voice. It's gonna be okay." So they're able to, like, get the test from him, and she's able to calm him back down. They get the jump on Banner and the dudes. They take Bruce Banner away, but Russian dude is able to convince Mr. Blue to, like, give him some... Well, convinces him by, like, holding a gun against his head. He's like, "You have to give me whatever that is that he has." And he's like, "It's not a great idea, but, like, I really want to see what's going to happen." So he gives the other dude more of his blood and whatever that shit is. Mr. Blue says, it's not a good idea. This mixture could make you an abomination. There's no limit to what we can imagine. Bruce Banner's being taken away on, like, a Air Force jet plane thing. Russian dude has turned into Abomination Monster and is just, like, rampaging through fucking New York or whatever. So they turn the plane around, want to get him back involved in that shit. One of the military guys shoots, like, a missile at him, and he's like, "Booyah!" It's like, I don't want to hear booyah in a superhero movie ever again. The missile that is shot at him, the Abomination just grabs it, bites it, and is like, "Bleh." But Abomination dude is, like, super excited to fight the Hulk. He's totally into it. So they start getting down to business. Hulk grabs he smashes a cop car in half and then picks up the two halves of the cop car, like, and uses them like boxing gloves and just beats the shit out of the other fucking guy, and, like, the pieces are flying and he just keeps beating him until there's no pieces of the car left, and that's pretty cool. That's got to be, like, the second best thing in this movie. And then there's just a bunch of bad dialogue and bad CG. The villain just, "Oh, I'm gonna take away what you love the most," and he like blows up the fucking helicopter that Liv Tyler is in. Like, it actually explodes, and you see her in it while it explodes. And Hulk does super claps away the explosion that was already happening, and she's fine. She's okay now. Clapped away the explosion that already happened. And then Abomination dude, like, has a big chain attached to a thing, and he's about to fucking kill the Liv Tyler girlfriend. "Do you have any last words?" "Hulk! Smash!" Just fucking smashes the ground. And it fucks up the thing. So the thing that he was spinning, like, ends up falling and hitting him in the head and, like, getting around his neck. And Hulk grabs onto the chains and, like, starts fucking strangling him. So Hulk's about to fucking pop his head off with the fucking strangle chains. And Liv Tyler's like, "No, don't do it. You're not that. No, So he doesn't do it. He just kind of kicks him. And he's like, "Eh." Hulk just decides to run away while, like, grabbing onto the side of buildings and just destroying property as he runs away. It actually made me think of like Spider-Man, like climbing from building to building, but but Hulk is like the destructive Spider-Man, where like every time he's like attached to a building, just rocks, bricks are falling off. He's destroying people's homes and shit as he fucking climbs through the city. And the closing shot of this movie has Edward Norton. You hear the beep from his fucking watch or whatever, and so he's like pumped up or whatever, but he's still like also in meditative mode, and he looks up and he's got green eyes and he smiles at the camera. So you know that he has control. He's learned how to control it, and that ties in later into the MCU story. And then there is a pre-credits stinger where they show General Ross at a bar. Tony Stark walks in. General Ross says, "You have such nice suits." Stark says, "We're putting a team together." That's not at all how that has worked. You're not putting a team together. There's no we. At that point, it's not fucking happening, right? Liv Tyler is a super flat, boring character in this movie. Edward Norton was not great either. He was sort of acceptable in certain moments, but it's a lot of bad writing, a lot of cheesy dialogue, a lot of bad CG. Not like terrible, not like don't ever watch it. Like, there's a lot of craft that was put into this, obviously. They focus way too much on General Ross. He's in it way too much, and he's not that great either. Banner, more often in this, seems aloof. He doesn't seem like the super smart guy that has things figured out or is even thinking about things in a super smart way. He's just some dude trying to escape the government and using WebMD to like figure out the symptoms of his illness or something. Like, a lot of the time it became noticeable that those sound effects were weird. The dubbing of certain characters' voices was weird, but the music was mostly okay, I guess. I would only recommend it to people that want to watch every one of the fucking MCU movies. Otherwise, it's not really worth your time. It's not a great monster movie. It's not a great superhero movie. It's just sort of mediocre in like every sense. I hope you enjoyed watching. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about this version, Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo, Hulk, MCU stuff, whatever. Leave me a comment. I just like to hear what you guys have to say. Catch you next time talking about another thing. Peace out. It's almost like he's just like and like but they get it's like yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe I got the timelines. I got the timelines. I got tiny little limes. That's a huge bitch!